Dear students, we will study the poetry An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum by Stephen Spender, an English essayist. Through his writings, Stephen Spender tries to bring out the social injustice that was existing in his time. This poetry is talking about an elementary school in a slum area and the situation of children there, situation of the school there, and what they lack. Everything is explained in the poetry. And have you ever seen a slum? You must have seen. In every city, at the outskirts of every city, there will be slums. People live in a congested area. So many people living together, having small huts. So one room or two rooms, and 5-6 people will be remaining there, and the surroundings may not be that neat and clean. And I will show you some pictures so that you may get a better understanding of a slum area. See the condition of houses there, how congested they are, and how small they are. They may not have all the facilities what we people enjoy, and the surroundings you can see how dirty or bad it is. So the poet is talking in this poetry about a school that is situated in a slum area, and he tells the situation of students, the situation of the school building, and also he tells what they should be given and how they can be brought to the mainstream of life. So we'll try to understand it. Please look into the textbook. Far, far from gusty waves, these children's faces, like rootless weeds, the hair torn round their pallor, the tall girl with her way down head, the paper-seeming boy with rat's eyes, the stunted, unlucky heir of twisted bonds, reciting a father's gnarled disease, his lesson from his desk at the back of the dim class, one unnoted, sweet and young, his eyes live in a dream of squirrel's game in tree room other than this. Just note down the word's meaning. Gusty waves. Gusty waves means a strong breeze or wind. Pallor. Pallor means pale or dull face, we can say. Then stunted, you may see there, not fully grown due to malnutrition. So gnarled. Gnarled means rough. Weeds. Weeds you may be knowing, the unwanted plants. Paper seeming boy, that means very thin, thin like a sheet of paper. Then heir, H-E-I-R, heir, H is silent there. That means the inheritor or the successor, we can say. So these are some of the words that you will see there. Now we will try to understand the meaning of those lines that we have read. So the poet is telling that he happened to visit an elementary school in a slum area, and the situation what he saw there he is explaining in the first few lines. So he tells in the first line, far, far from gusty waves these children's faces. So the poet describes the children whom he has seen in that slum area. He visited a school in a slum area, and he is explaining in those lines about those children whom he found in that elementary school, and they are far different from the usual children. Gusty waves. Gusty waves means a strong breeze that indicates energy. So the children of this age should be very active and energetic, but they are far different from those children. Looking at their faces, he understands that they are very dull and without any energy. And he compares these children with unwanted weeds. Here, the writer wants to say that these children are like the unwanted weeds which grow by themselves without any support. Their hair is not neatly done or combed properly, and it is just fallen on their dull faces. Then the writer noticed a tall girl, and by looking at her, the writer feels that she is burdened with the poverty, and she is bending her head down and sitting there. Then there was a boy who was so weak and thin, and the poet is comparing him with a sheet of paper, because he was so thin and weak. And the poet is comparing the eyes of that boy to a rat. Rats always search something. So this boy also is searching something. That means the poet saw a greed in his eyes. He wants to achieve everything in his life. So that greed was there in the eyes of that thin boy. Then poet noticed a disabled boy, and he tells that this boy is so unlucky that he inherited from his parents or from his father deformity instead of getting some facilities or properties. And that boy was sitting there and reciting the lessons. Then at the back bench, where not so much light was there, one boy was sitting, and his eyes seems to be so bright, and he was not interested in the class. He was looking outside through the window, and he is dreaming about something and looking at the squirrels that are running on the trees and so on. Hope you understood that much. We will see the next lines. On sour cream walls, donations, Shakespeare's head, cloudless at dawn, civilized dome, riding all cities. Belt, flowery Tyrolese valley, open-handed map, awarding the world its world, and yet for these children, these windows, not this map, their world, where all their futures painted with a fog, a narrow street sealed in with a lead sky, far, far from rivers, capes, and stars of words. First, we will see some of the words and their meaning. Sour. Sour means unpleasant. Then donations, you will see that is things that is given or received in charity is called donation. Then dawn. Dawn means early morning. Civilized dome. Here it means a rising sun at the horizon, which is in the shape of a dome, a semicircle. Then you may see Tyrolese Valley. Tyrolese Valley is a beautiful ice-free valley in Australia. Sealed. Sealed means shut or locked. Lead. Lead here means a dark future. Capes. Capes means a large piece of land that is sticked out into the sea from the coast. These are some of the words that you will see there. And now we will understand the meaning of those lines. So the poet describes the walls of the school. They are cream in color, sour cream it is mentioned. That means the walls are not so clean or it may not have been painted recently. Then the walls are covered with so many charts and images that must have been donated by someone. And what are the pictures you will see? One Shakespeare's picture is there, and his head is bald, and it looks like the rising sun. So at the horizon, early morning, when the sun rises, only half of the sun will be seen. So his head is looking like that. Then there is a picture of Tyrolese Valley, which is so beautiful, full of flowers and so. Then there is also a picture of map. World map also is there on the wall. And the poet says that this all pictures are irrelevant there, because the map which is shown there, that is totally different from the idea of these children, because their world and the world that is shown in the map is totally different. What they have seen, the world they have seen, that is the slum. Out of the slum area, they do not know anything about. But in the map, the slum is not shown. All things that are shown in the map, it is so beautiful and so wonderful, and that world is different for these children, or irrelevant for these children, or not suitable for these children. That is what the poet is trying to say. So for these children, the world is that is slum. And the poet says in the next lines that their future is so dark, and their world is just narrowed down to that small street or that area where they live, and there is no wide scope for them to grow, and the education and the radiance of knowledge is so far away from these children. That is what the poet tells in that lines. Now we will see the next lines. Look into it. Surely Shakespeare is wicked, the map a bad example, with ships and sun and love tempting them to steal, for lives that slyly turn in their cramped halls. From fog to endless night, on their slag heap these children, were skins peeped through by bonds and spectacles of steel, with a mended glass like bottle bits on stones. All of their time and space are foggy slum, so blot their maps with slums as big as doom. Now we'll try to understand the meaning of those lines. So the poet further says that these children, those who are living in that slum area, they face so many hardships in their life. They are not loved or liked by anyone, so they hate all other people. So Shakespeare is a good person, but for them he is a wicked person. The map is not a good thing for them. Their desire of being loved by someone forces them to do some crimes like stealing and so on. They live in a small homes and they are adjusted to that situation. Their life is going towards an endless night. This means their future is full of darkness. These kids are so thin that one can easily see their bones through the thin layer of their skin. These kids suffer from malnutrition. Some of them are wearing spectacles which are made up of steel. They are very cheap and uncomfortable to wear. Even the lenses in the spectacles, they are repaired. Here the poet tries to explain that these kids have to undergo many hardship in their life. As these slums are becoming bigger and bigger, their life will become more and more difficult and their future will be destroyed. And it is very difficult for these children to escape from that situation. That is what the poet tells in those lines. We will see the next lines. Unless governor, inspector, visitor, this map becomes their window, and these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs. Break open till they break the town, and show the children to green fields and make their world. Run ashore on gold sands and let their tongues run naked into books. The white and green leaves open history, theirs whose language is the sun. One or two difficult words only you will find there. One is catacombs. Catacombs means tomb or cemetery where the dead bodies are buried. Then ashore. Ashore means deep blue. These are the words that you may find there. Now we will see the meaning of those lines. The poet says that the government should take notice of the problems that are faced by these children and make adequate steps to change the life of these children. Means make their life different from the present situations and make the world map a reality for them. The main problem that they are facing is poverty and lack of resources. So they should be provided with those things, and the governor and the public should take interest and visit them and understand their problems and help them, so that the darkness in which they are remaining will be removed and they will have a bright future. So the poet is telling that for that the main thing that should be given to them is education. The white leaves and the green leaves that is mentioned there, white leaves means the paper, the books. So the knowledge should be given to them, and automatically their life will be developed and they will be able to come out of that dark situation, and automatically there will be growth in their life, and in every way they will grow up and they will enjoy the beauty of this world, and they will have a normal life, and they will have a wonderful future. That is what the poet is trying to tell through these lines. Hope you understood the poetry, and now please write down the summary so that you will have a better understanding. We will meet in the next video. Thank you.